All right, so let's go ahead and start building our Google site. So you are going to head into your Google Drive and we are going to click on the waffle right here. You are going to go down here where it says Sites, and we're going to click on that. Now you have a couple of options when this first pops up. If you are familiar with building a Google site, then this should be a refresh for you. If you have never built a Google site before, then I am going to walk you through the steps. Now, a couple of things that you need to remember. Every time you have an advisory lesson from this point forward, you are going to add a new page and you're going to upload your assignments to that page. You are then going to share the link to your updated Google site with your teacher at the end of every lesson so that you can share with your teacher the work that was completed. So let's go ahead and start with a blank template. Now you are going to have the option to customize this however you want, but for today I am going to show you some ins and outs of setting up your Google site. Now, the site is going to be set up very closely to your student checklist. So our very first items on our checklist were the self-survey and the portfolio rationale. So we are going to create 2 pages, one for the self-surveys and one for the portfolio rationale. Now right here it says that your site is untitled, so you want to make sure that you give it a name. So I am going to name mine similar to how I named my folder for my digital artifacts in my Google Drive. Now it will automatically name it. That's going to be my site. And actually, you know what? I'm going to add the year to this. Now, our very first page is going to be an About page. We are going to, right now, just call it About. We're going to come back to this later on in future lessons. But for right now, our home page is going to be our About page. You're going to be adding your personal statement to this page later on. So let's take a tour of Google Sites. Right here, the Insert allows you to insert text boxes, images, embed links, pull anything from your Google Drive, which is what we are going to do today. It allows you to create a layout. So if you want to add images and text, if you have multiple images and maybe you want to add a description underneath those, these are different ways that you can do that. You have collapsible text. We can add a table of content. We have an image carousel. So if you have a portfolio of images that you would like to add, an image carousel is a great way to do that. This button can take you to different pages within your Google site. You can create dividers. So if you have multiple artifacts on your Google site and maybe you want to divide them to make it more organized and cleaner, you can definitely add a divider. We have some placeholders. If you have access to YouTube and maybe you upload YouTube links, maybe you're part of video production and you have created a video, this would be a great place for you to display the work that you did in that class if you have a YouTube channel. You can add a calendar, you can add maps, Google Docs, all kinds of fun stuff. So what we are going to do right now is set up your pages, and then we're going to pull your artifacts onto those pages. Now, you can also select different themes. We're going to save this for later. This is something that you can do maybe in your free time. If you finish your lessons early, you can always go back and customize your site by picking the themes. So maybe I'll just change my theme. There we go. Now let's go to the pages. Now we need to add some pages to this so that I don't have, just my home page. So down here, I'm going to move my little window. I have a plus sign. So I'm going to add a page by doing that. It's going to ask me to give it a name. Now remember, you're going to follow along with your checklist. So if you are one of the students who likes to plan ahead and you like to prepare your portfolio already, you can go ahead and start adding the next 2 pages after I show you how to add these. So our very first page is going to be for our self-survey. And then I'm going to add a page for my portfolio rationale. There we go. So now we need to upload our artifacts to these pages, and this is where the fun part happens. So we're going to go to our self-survey page, and this is also why I had you create the Google Drive folder. We're going to go to the Insert button, and we're going to go to our Google Drive. Now we are uploading directly from that Drive folder, so any materials that are uploaded into your Google Classroom, any work that you do in Kami that you then download, you always want to make sure that you get in the habit of uploading it to your folder that you created in last week's lesson. Now I don't want to insert the entire folder, so you want to make sure that when you click on that, you click it to open it. So I gave it a double click. Now I have my self-survey right here. I'm going to click on that. And once it's highlighted, I'm going to insert it into my page. Now here I can resize this. I want this to be big enough that my teacher can see it. And now my handout is here, and I can read it. I can see all my answers that I've added to this. And I think I borrowed this from one of your classmates. That's why their name's on there. But this is how you're going to upload your self-survey. Now, if you want to, I'm going to show you a little more advanced technique if you want to challenge yourself. Let's say you want to click one of the layouts. You can click that layout. You can add the button by uploading from your Google Drive, just like we did before. And you can select the items from your Google Drive folder and start to upload those items in the boxes that are already created here. Anything that you don't want, you can always just delete those sections. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my other page. I'm going to go to my portfolio Rationale. And now I'm going to upload what I've completed today. So let's do this. Let's test out one of the layouts. I'm going to drag and drop that there. Now your portfolio Rationale page has to have the district learning goals. So I'm going to go into my Drive. Into my folder, and I'm going to select the graduate outcomes. And now it'll be nicely inserted right here. Now I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Because I want the viewer to be able to see it. So I can work with the sizing. I can resize this however I want it to be. You're going to customize this to make it fit your style. Now all of these pieces are movable. So let's say that you want to move this item underneath here. All I'm going to do is drag and drop. Maybe this is where I put my portfolio Rationale, and then I'm going to upload my item here. So maybe I want to insert my portfolio Rationale sheet. And now I have my portfolio Rationale sheet. I have my district learning outcomes. Maybe I want to resize that, put that in the center, move this. I can even add a description here and explain the district learning goal that I selected. So I can put and I can list which one I've selected. So maybe I've selected creative. And now whoever looks at this can see what my focus is. I can even rearrange this and maybe center it. But these are all things that you can do to customize your site and make it more personal to you. Now you can even resize this if you want, make this a little bit bigger so that it's easier to see. It's completely up to you. Now this little button right here will allow it to pop out so that whoever is visiting your site can look at your documents even in a bigger view. But you want to start getting in the habit of, after completing all of your assignments, uploading those assignments to the page on your Google site. You do not want to wait till the last minute to do this, because that will just be making more work for yourself. So start getting in the habit of, at the very end of the lesson, downloading whatever material you have in your Google Classroom that you have used for your lesson, uploading it to the page that is created for that lesson, because we will be creating more pages in the future. And then updating that so that your teacher has access to it and your teacher can see it and review it and give you feedback. So now that I have my artifacts uploaded, I can publish my site. So now this is going to be the name of my site, and I want to leave it just like that. I'm going to hit publish. And I want to view my site. Now this link right here, I'm actually going to go to my home page. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to copy the link. And now this is the link that I'm going to share with my teacher so that my teacher has access to my site so that they can check it and offer me feedback. So I'm going to go into my Google Classroom, go into the classwork. I'm going to find the Digital Portfolio Google Site form. Click on that. I'm going to fill this out with my last name, my first name, and then I'm going to paste the link to my published site, just like that. So now when my teacher looks at this form, they have access to my site all in one place. Once you have this submitted, you are then going to go back into the assignment, and I'm going to borrow Miss Carter's assignment. And I am going to paste in the private comment my site so that my teacher has it in two places. The reason that we put this in two places is so that you can easily access your site from the assignment, but also so that your teacher has a running list of all the Google sites from you and your classmates. You will complete this step for each lesson as you update your site so that your teacher can very quickly access your site and see the updates that you have made. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your teachers. Please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me through the school email. My email is addonato@cojusd.org. I can't wait to see the sites that you create. Have fun, customize it, make it your own, show us the work that you're able to do in your advisory lesson.